I suppose as candidates you get a brief synopsis of what it's like as a young person here in Longford and Westmeath as well. The stark reality is that young people are leaving us and we are becoming an ageing population here in Longford. We need to retain our young people, and how are you as candidates going to do that?
Can I ask as well, for all of you there, what do you suggest? You're, at the end of the day, you're at the age that, you can decide what it is that you want to be able to stay here. So can you suggest to us, there's no point in us telling us what we're going to do. You're the people who can tell us what you want in Longford Town.
Just 1 second there, I'll just open it up. Jimmy has asked a question. Can anyone respond to Jimmy's question there? What do you want?
Well, can I say that I think really they asked us here today to see what we might do for them, and just and we then would.
But I'd love to actually find out what every.
Relate with you.
Yeah. Connie?
I would agree. That's what I was going to say, and of course. On the back of that almost threat that Katie has ended her speech with by way of what we are going to do from today. I appreciate that, Katie, and I do think that it saddens me to hear genuinely what you've written and your speeches, which are very articulate, I have to say, and very to the point. I don't disagree with anything that you've in there, and I can see that there's evidently challenges for you as young people in Longford. I know both of you are in transition year. And I suppose I would be hoping that that transition year also would provide for some of the deficits that you feel are lacking in society here to support you in Longford, and in particular that it might actually form some basis of food for thought in terms of how socially you can change things for the better good of Longford. And I do agree with James, he's asking you for your ideas. I note as well, Katie, you went back to Dublin, and I think it's utterly regretful that you said that, that you were regretful that you had to come back to Longford to live in. And I just feel also, Victoria, I think that what you say is very true, and particularly with regard to racism in this town. And regretfully I have to say that in the course of my door-to-door canvass over the last couple of weeks, I noticed that is one thing that does come up on the doorstep. Now, it's not something that I suppose people talk very openly about, but it's very much there and it's very evident. We did need people to come from Eastern Europe. We did need people at a time when we were building houses and we didn't have the manpower ourselves. So we invited people to come to our country at a time when we absolutely needed them. And one person from Poland said to me recently that when he came from Poland initially, people used to say, "Oh, you're Polish, hello, how are you, welcome." Now, it's a different story. The fact of the matter though is that what people need to realise as well is that we're not going to be able to flick our fingers and make people go away. People are here, they're part of our community, and they need to be recognised and welcomed as part of our community. Instead of speaking negatively about, you mentioned they're taking our jobs, and I actually think that we need to start opening up positive debate on how we can actually benefit from the diverse community that we're living in at the moment. I feel very strongly about that. It doesn't matter about what cultural background you come from, what religious background you come from, and even to the point that somebody had said, and I went down and I visited the mosque recently as well, we don't know what they're doing down there on a Friday. They're praying, hello. So we need to start not being so negative about the diverse culture that we have here in Longford. And we need to start looking at how we can proactively, what do we have in common? I know one thing that we have in common with most cultural backgrounds is food. It's just an example. Also, I think we need to be looking at socially how we can improve things for you. Someone mentioned going to Cartown. To go out of
Connie, we'll come back to that because there's other people may want to get in here.
Yeah, sorry, and I didn't mean to go across you, James. Yeah, I just feel that we're here to tell you what we will do with you and work with you into the future. I'm on the steering committee. I'm the chair actually of the steering committee of Cornwall and Rogue here in Longford. So I would know sort of Luke and Ali. And I worked with obviously all that are on that board, and they range from the Gardaí to the drug and alcohol counsellor. Feroiga are represented on it, and the young people themselves. And we're engaging with the policy makers to try to put in place the policies for the things that you need. And so through that body, we're listening to you, to what you need. But it saddens me to hear both of you speak in such tones of negativity and depression and how you don't want to stay here. Because, like, effectively you'll be gone next year and another group of young people are going to be taking your place. So clearly up to now you have been failed, except by the wonderful committee who put this place together. I mean, if it wasn't for here, it's very clear that a lot of you would not feel part of the community or wouldn't feel valued in the community, and that is sad. But also the reference, and sorry, I'll let others in a minute, your reference to the lack of services for mental health for young people in Longford. It is absolutely appalling that if you are at the edge of, of terror in your life and you need somebody to talk to, that you can't access that for 20 weeks and that you then have to go out of your own county to do that. That is deplorable and it is scandalous. And
I'm just stopping there, you can get back again.
Yeah. So, like Victoria and Katie, you nailed it basically. You told us exactly. We have created, Ireland has created a soulless world for you. And like you managed within so small words to express that so clearly. So my name is Moncon McGann. I'm standing with the Green Party. Our first main solution is we'd love to lower the vote to 60 years of age. Because we're dead. We've created a country that has failed. Some parts of Ireland, as we know, are thriving. A lot of it has failed. So this island's only solution is in your hands. The sooner you get to vote. When you're 60, then you start refocusing. And what do you want? You want an island which is focused on soul, on spirit, that there is still this community idea rather than just economy, moving people around, as you so clearly expressed, so that they can make more money here and less money there. And this requires an entire change, but we can very easily do it. I mean, your issue in the GL so well as well, mental health and depression is going to come up in every person at youth age. We can deal with that once we have the counsellors, that's been stripped back from our schools, our youth clubs. And so our Green Party's mental health policy is implementing guaranteed guidance teachers with psychological counselling in every school. That there's a 2-hour wait, not a 3-day or a 4-day wait. So Brezzi came out yesterday demanding who is going to deal with mental health, and he lauded the Green Party policy. It is very key that at least our minds are healthy, okay? But then what do we need after that? So the man who inspired me to run, like I'm a journalist, I'm a TV presenter, I don't normally in politics. But there's a man called Fergal Smith. He's running for the Green Party in Clare. He's a professional surfer. Okay? He earns as much as he wants from Billabong and things, surfing the world. He decided, I don't want to do that. I want to come back to Ireland. And he was living in Lahinch in Clare. And he's got involved in politics, and his main idea, I want a community-supported farm in every parish. So basically, you put aside this, as we know, there's far too much land in this country. We take a patch of land in every community, give it to the local people, give it to the kids, decide, let's produce our own food, let's have this, it gives us independence, an independent shape that we can create our own world. Then when people are feeling down between jobs, this is the centre of community that you're going back to. It's producing food, it's producing income. On top of this, you'll have childcare and you'll have mental health care that's rooted in the rural area. That helps the rural, it doesn't really help the cities. The key thing for cities, Ireland is tiny. We just need to invest in public transport. We need late night trains to Dublin, and we need buses and cycle routes and walk routes within each town.
Okay, Mark, and you'll get a chance now later on because